This is the Irontrader. It is Friday morning. Hopefully everybody had a good Thanksgiving. We've got about half a day left here. Regular market closes at 1, but you can actually trade out to all 4 o'clock here today. So let's see if we can make a couple of bucks here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look here first at Bitcoin, at Ethereum, gold, silver, and crude oil and natural gas. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy or sell any stock, not ETF. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Alrighty, here we have Bitcoin, your daily and your weekly chart. Now you can see here how we have a turning point, okay? High, lower, downtrend situation still in play, and low, lower low, and lower low. However, we put this bottoming tail in here, and now we had that sideways consolidation, and now we're back above this 8-day. That's going to be very, very key. Now, the 8-day was actually on a total waterfall, like the 21-day and the 50-day is. However, now it looks like it wants to curl up here. If we can get this to hold, this would be really good to refer a reversal here in Bitcoin. Okay, so this is what we're watching here on the downside. We're watching obviously today's low, 95.90, but this is the key level right here is this 89.163. That's going to be very, very key. We want to make sure that we hold that on a closing basis. Now we come up here to this 88.770 level. We'll come up top of that candle there at 88.150. Then we just march this bad boy down, 86.250. We have 86.135. We have 85.200, and we have a big retest down here at 87.50. But again, watch that 8-day. Very, very key. Now, I went long on the BITX here last week, I should say, 2 days ago. The holiday kind of screws you up. But anyway, I went long on the BITX. So right now, I'm looking for, bottom line is run it up to this 21 SMA. But let's go to all the resistance in between that. Okay, so we're looking at today's high, 92.390. That's going to be resistant. Then we're going to be coming right to this level right here. You're looking at that 93.225 level. We can march it up here at 93.960. Then we can come with the top of that candle at 96.145. And then that's what you're looking for is that 97.370 level. Yeah, there are other targets, your 21-day, your 50-day, and your 100-day. But again, this 21-day is going to be very, very strong. All you have to do is look at what it did in the past, okay? See how we went right up here, had that tweezer top, and then look right here, okay, right into it, couldn't get up, and it kept right on rolling down. So if it runs up to this 21-day, then we have to see what the reaction is. Does it blast through, okay, or does it just hit it and then come right back down and retest, kind of a situation? So, okay, we got to a oversold condition on the old RSI, and now we're sitting at 39, so we have plenty of room to run. The green is oversold, but now you can see how it's curling on up. So let's just see if we can just retest this 21-day. So what you're watching today is that 8-day on the downside. You have to close above that. We start losing that, then this is going to fall right on back down and retest and possibly even retest that low. Again, on the upside, we have these targets on the left-hand side, but your big target's going to be that 21-day. Now, we look at a weekly. Okay, the weekly was holding up very nice. We still have a good uptrending chart here. Low, and a higher low situation. Okay, so it came right on down, went past that 100-day, closed above. And now looking so far this week, closed right above that 100-day, looking very, very good. Now, the bad part of it is, see how that 8-day crossed that 21-day, crossed that 50-day? That's going to provide very, very strong resistance right around that 102 area. By the time it gets up there, it probably won't be 102, probably right around that 100 mark. Okay, so again, just be always watch that weekly chart. Now, we came all the way down, and we didn't get to it over sold condition, but we have more of a bottoming situation, but the green is still over your red, so you still have to be very, very careful. But today, just watch that 8-day. It can be very, very critical on the downside, and watch that 21-day if it gets there, critical resistance on the upside. Okay, let's take a look here now at Ethereum. All right, here we have Ethereum, okay, your daily and your weekly chart. Okay, now you can see here we have the same situation we had on the old Bitcoin. Okay, so here we have the downtrending, but now look at this 8-day, see how it wants to curl right back up. However, look and see where it went today, right up to this 200-day. That's going to be very, very strong resistance. So upside, this is what you want to watch, is 30.73. That's going to be very, very key. That's your 200-day. We get above that, we come up here to 31.28 level, come up top of this candle here, 31.75. We can march it up to the top of there at 32.26. But this here, 32.48, that's going to be very, very strong. As you can see in the past, okay? See in the past, 21-day, very, very strong, okay? But again, upside, watch that 200-day, and then watch that possible 21-day retest. Downside, this 8-day is everything. You need to hold at 29.60. If we lose it, and come right down here at 28.89, come to the bottom there at 28.55, We march it down here to 27.64 and then retest 26.27. Okay, but looks like we're forming a bottom like we are in Bitcoin. Okay, same way with here. We got to just about to an over a sold condition. Now we have a little bit of room. Now look up here where your green is crossing over your red. So today, what you want to watch is that 200-day on the upside. We get above that, your 21 day is your target. Downside, watch that 8-day. That's going to be everything. If not, we follow the candles down until you get a possible retest of 26.27. Now, we look at the weekly chart here. You can see here how we ran right on up here, and this is going to be very strong, 3,067 level. Okay, that's going to be your 100-day, and then right above it, we have 3,100. Okay, so right there, 3067 and then 3,100. Now, if you can get above that, well, then we can go to the top of that candle, 3226. Then we can venture up to that 3506 level. But again, it's going to be very, very strong resistance getting through that and getting through all of this. Now, we didn't get down to any kind of an oversold condition, but again, we're hanging right here at 43. That's not overbought or oversold. The green is still below your red, so you got to be very, very patient with this until we can close back above the 100-day and that 50-day. And this 8-day is going to be very, very critical, but we have to get above it. Not saying we can't, but when you look in the past there, see how it is? It just keeps fighting you. But once you get above that 8-day, then she has a nice, good rally all the way on up. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. All right, here we have gold, here we have silver. Now you can see here, I was pointing out here, see how we have this cup, we have this handle, okay? Cup and handle. This is like a coffee cup situation. What we're really watching for on the upside is right here, is this 42.50. That's going to be very, very key, and all that is just the top of that candle. We get above that, then you can hit right for this candle, 43.46 level, and then retest 43.98. You crack that, you're going to go to that, mark yourself, first of all, 4,400, but I think you'll work yourself up to that 4,500. Okay. Now on the downside, you want to watch today's low. Okay, 41.74, and then Wednesday's low at 41.63. It will come down here at 41.43. But the big boy right here is going to be the 8-day at 41.25, and your 21-day at 40.83, and then we have your 50-day at 40.36. Now you can see how the price is above all your simple moving average. Very, very good. And the 8-day curled up, 21-day curled up. The 50-day is right up on the upside here, same with the 100-day and the 200-day. So this is looking very, very good for this breakout, okay? But again, always try to watch these chart patterns here. You got a nice good cup, and you've got a nice good handle going here. The key is going to be cracking above that 42.50. Then we can have a good, if once it does, you can have a nice good shot right at that 43.98 retest. Okay, RSI, got plenty of room to run. The green, look at how the green over your red shows momentum to the upside. So again, this chart is looking very, very good. As long as we can maintain that 8-day, that 21-day, and that 50-day, we stay above that price, and then we can crack above that 42.50 level, then I will shoot it up to that 43.98. Now, right now, I was just trading this. I have no position right now. I'm watching that 42.50. We close above this, then I'm going to be all in on that GLD. Okay, silver. Nice double top situation, came on down, and you can see where it sold off and where it go, right to the 50-day. Next day, right to the 21-day, and been rallying up ever since, okay? So now what I'm watching here is I'm watching this key level. We're right above here. That's very, very nice, 53.76, okay? So and this is what you really need. There's two things that we have to hold, okay, on a closing basis right here. 54.41, that's going to be very, very key, okay? That was the recent high until now. Okay, that's going to be key. And then this level right here at that 53.76. Now, if we lose that, we come down to today's low, 53.22 level. We can march it down here to the top of this candle at 52.24. But then we're looking at that 8-day, that 51.61, 21-day, 50.28, the 50-day, and then we have your retest down there. But again, same way with gold, the price on silver here, the price is above all your simple moving averages, which is very, very positive for it. Okay, now we made a little bit higher high, actually a record high here at 54.41 was the recent one. Now we have 54.65. So if it keeps right on running, I'm looking for that 55 level, and then we got to see where it stays, what happens when it gets up to that level. Now we look at here at 67. This has got plenty of room to run. The green crossed over your red. That looks plenty of room to run. So actually, this is looking very, very bullish as long as now as we hold this key level right there at that 54.41. We hold that, and we hold this level right here is going to be very, very critical. 53.76. I think we can go there and aim right for that 55 level. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude oil. Here we have crude oil. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the mix. T-Man is trying to get Russia and Ukraine, get a peace deal going on there. And if it does, I think oil will come up. But oil's holding in very, very nicely. Now, T-Man also has sanctions on Russia, on the two largest oil companies, which is huge money for Russia. And basically what that is, that's just leverage. Okay, so that's what they're going to try to do. But again, oil is holding in very, very nicely here. Now, when you look at a seasonality chart, what you look at here is on crude oil, it usually sells off till about the first week of December. Then you have a nice good rally all the way from first week of December to the first couple of days of January. Okay, so we're going to see if that's going to take effect again as of right now. Now, 50-day, you can see how strong. See this? Okay, every day I come in here, I point out the same thing, how strong that 50-day is. Now, we sold right off, but we came all the way down to this okay, all the way down here, down to that 57.10 level, but we put a bottoming tail in here, and now it's kind of rising up here. So we have a nice series of higher lows and higher highs going on. Now, on the downside here, just watch that 8-day. That's going to be very, very key. 58.92, we want to hold that. If we lose that, we'll come down to today's low, 58.27. Right down here, 57.66, and then we retest that 57.10. We lose that right down here, 56.35, and then 55.96 are your targets. Okay, upside here, if it keeps rolling, right here, this 21-day, 59.56, very, very key. And then the big boy is going to be this 50-day at 60.39. Reason being is all the time that it just could not get through. Now, if it can get through there, then we have that 61.50 level, then we have 62.59, then we have that 64.03, then we have your big retest up there at 66.42. Okay, so right now we still have a downtrending chart. When you look at this, see, it's completely downtrending. High, lower, all the way down. Especially this last segment. This is just downtrending with series of lower highs and lower low situation. However, that can be reversed if we crack above the 21-day and above that 50-day. You get above that 50-day, then you can start hitting all these levels. And who knows here with crude, but it's hanging in very, very good considering everything that's going on. Plus, you have a pretty good size, glut going right now into crude oil, but it seems to be holding in pretty good. So basically, how a trader looks at that is a two-way trade. Okay, so I do SCO for the long, UCO for the short. So a lot of times I'll do is I'll have the short on, and then I just scalp the long as I'm going up here. Now again, once it hits that 50-day, that short will be all gone, and the UCO will be all basically in play until we just find a level where it stops. Okay, so right here, 47, this is like plenty of room to go upside, up or down. The same way here. This is not overbought, oversold, either one of these. So this is, looking pretty good. But again, we could hit that 21-day, and we could even retest that 50-day at 60.39 level. So again, just trade this market. That's the key. Okay, let's take a look now at natural gas. Here we have natural gas, okay? Your daily and your weekly chart. Now, this is getting very, very interesting, okay? So here we had this low, higher low situation. Then we had this contract roll where it gapped right on up. Now what we do is we have this sideways consolidation. As you can see here, how very, very tight. But look at this 8-day, okay? See how that 4.53 now is curling back up very, very nicely, and the 21-day is holding this, coming all the way on up here. Same with your 50-day, do that all across. Looking very, very bullish. Now, the key to this is going to be right here is that 4.68 level. You can see where it hit that, and then it had been retesting it all this time, but so far we can't break through. But I think it's going to be a matter of time. 4.68 level. Okay, so if that cracks above that, this is going to be your big target right here at that 490 level. See that spike high? That's going to be your big target. So when we look at a weekly chart, here's that big target of 499, okay, 490 level, okay. So if you can get above all that there, you can see how many targets that we have going all the way on up here, okay. So your next level is you got 536 level going all the way up here. Then we look to the bottom here, you got 572. We can march this all the way up here to 627, and then we bring this price channel right across. You got 710. We bring this bad boy across. You got 760, and then you can just keep right on marching this up. 812 level. Okay, we come across here. You got 9, and then we got all the way up here at the 10 as a retest. Now, I'm not saying that's where it's going, but we're getting some really, really cold weather, and they're predicting even more cold and snow like where I am here. The ski resorts are just loving it because, well, they need snow. They need cold weather. So they're really loving it. But right now, the key to this whole situation is going to be that 4.688. Now, on the downside, just watch that key 8 simple moving average, that's at 4.53. And then we have your 21 rate below that at 4.42. We lose that, we'll come down here to the bottom, 435, and then we come down to the bottom of this candle here at 4.23 level, okay? But that's really about as far as we're going to go, because right now is that nice consolidation, and natural gas has been pretty much in play. So what I'm waiting for, I've been just trading this long and short, UNG for the long, KLD for the short. Now you can use also trade Boyle or however you want to trade it, or options or whatever. But that's just like I said, a very, very easy way. Now, if we close above this 4.68, then I'll jump in there pretty big time on the UNG, and I'll be taken up here to that 490 level. That's where she's going to go. So again, on the weekly chart, when you look at this, you just had the sideways consolidation. And when you have that sideways consolidation, what it does is it builds energy. Now, it can crack down too, but when it cracks up, it moves, and it moves really fast, as we can see like in the past here. Okay, see how that kind of just had that consolidation, cracked right on up here, more consolidation, and just rallied right on up. So again, if we can crack above that key level at 468, just look for that 490. That's going to be very, very key. And then again, we have to see what the reaction is if it gets there. But we have a lot of good resistance levels all the way up here, and you can march that thing all the way up to that 760 level very, very easy, especially at this time of year. Okay, that's what I got for you. I might have another one here for the end of the day here. There won't be no midday trading because I say we got just a shortened day today. So let's just see how this all going to shake out here. So remember, have a really good trading day. And remember, it's a shortened day till about 1 o'clock, but you can do after hours till about 4 o'clock. Okay, so let's just see if we can make a couple bucks here today. Remember, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.